King Joko exiled all of us to this work farm. Our Sunspear friend, Alishar, helps exiles defect, and Mom and I help him. Far to the north, the followers of Ascension study Augury Rock to try and contact the gods. Augury's shadow is a camp built by Tyrians coming to unlock Ascension. Scholars have flocked to Augury Rock to research the old rituals, and others have come seeking adventure and glory.
You there! Have you seen any glimmering scales in your sojourns? I'm collecting slivers of Vlast from the Branded.
I'm afraid not. But I had a question for you. I'm scouring the Riverlands for a place of special significance. It might be related to Vlast. Anything come to mind?
Well, Vlast was born here. If the place you seek is in the Riverlands, I would hope it has something to do with him. Pilgrims came from all over Tyria to see him. The elders used to direct wayward travelers to follow the river. Check out the camp west of here. The folks there might know more.
Ah, new arrival. Come to help the followers of Ascension? We could use a pair of hands like yours.
Maybe later. For now, I need information. I'm scouring the Riverlands for a place of special significance. It might be related to Vlast. Anything come to mind?
Vlast? Only that he's from here, but that's about it. That's all I know. I'm new here.
It's no problem. So am I.
You know, come to think of it, follower Adisa knows more about Vlast than any of us.
Lucius, I know you don't like to talk about it because you think I'm too young.
I've told you all I can remember about that.
I'm not just a snot-snouted Farrar cub anymore. I stowed away to join the Anvil Warband, remember? I can handle the truth about what happened, whatever it is.
I told you, the dragon caught us by surprise. We scattered. There was no battle to be waged.
I'm scouring the Riverlands for a place of special significance. It might be related to Vlast. Anything come to mind?
Vlast, huh? Huh. He was born here, I know that much. In a city that was eventually swallowed by the desert. Beyond that, it's all rumor and conjecture. Local legends and such.
I'm scouring the Riverlands for a place of special significance. It might be related to Vlast. Anything come to mind?
Vlast? I mean, I've heard the legends, but that's all they are. Legends and myths.
Myths aren't always fabrications. Some of them end up being true.
That's for sure. Particularly in these parts. But not all of Nyala's tallest tales are so credible. Not that it bothers the kid she teaches, of course. She's in the tent, just over there, if you'd like to inquire further. Greetings, Wayfarer. Have you come to join us in the search for Ascension?
Maybe later. For now, I need information. I'm scouring the Riverlands for a place of special significance. It might be related to Vlast. Anything come to mind?
What's that mean? Special significance.
For the purposes of our discussion, it means really interesting.
But that could be anything around here.
Tell me about it.
Didn't you see someone with the Derman Priory the other day? What were they looking for?
Oh, that's right. A bunch of Asura came to the Riverlands. I met one of them. He was mean, but really smart.
His name is Glock. He's a bit impatient, but he knows a lot about the area. He came through this way asking vague questions, like you are now. Perhaps he'd be willing to share what he learned.
I wonder sometimes if bringing the children along was the right thing to do.
Joko separated us once, remember?
How can I forget?
Whoa, Traveler. What's the rush?
Walk in shadow.
Follow the moon to Amnoon.
Quietly. Get inside.
You're welcome to stay and take a rest.
Thanks. I would, but my son's waiting for me.
I'm scouring the Riverlands for something. A place of special significance, possibly related to Vlast. Any ideas?
Sorry. I just arrived, so I have no idea what you're talking about. But it does sound interesting. Good luck.
Don't you dare sneak up on me like that! You can get yourself killed doing that in a place like this. I'm far more dangerous than I look, you know. I'm sorry, this place has me a bit on edge.
I'll wear a bell next time. You're with the Priory, aren't you? I need information.
Concerning...
I'm searching the desert for... something.
I need more?
A place of special significance. Possibly related to the dragon, Vlast.
You're not working with much, are you? These lands are rich with history, so that could be any number of... Wait, Vlast, you said?
Yes. Anything come to mind?
Well, since my arrival, I've heard mention here and there of an ancient lost city somewhere in the Riverlands. A hub of forgotten activity. Or it was before the fall, anyway. Supposedly, Vlast was born there. If you're looking for... how'd you put it? A place of special significance? The lost city certainly fits the bill.
Sounds like you know a lot about it. Any idea where I can find it?
No idea. Hence, heard mention here and there. All I've gathered on the topic is rumor and conjecture.
A lost city. That must be what we're looking for. I'd better check with the locals. Excuse me. I have another question for you. Do you know anything about a lost city located somewhere in the Riverlands?
I'm collecting Lost slivers of city. glass from granite. Only rumors. Supposedly, there was once a grand city somewhere in the region. Vlast's birthplace.
Any idea where it's supposed to be?
I'm afraid not. But folks in the camp west of here might know more. You there! Have you seen any glimmering scales in your sojourn? I'm collecting slivers of glass.
A new bounty has been posted. Go look at the bounty boards.
Excuse me. I have another question for you. Do you know anything about a lost city located somewhere in the Riverlands?
Lost City? I could swear I heard something about that from the locals. Apparently it was where Vlast was born. That's the long and short of it, though. Follower Disa may know more.
You were right. Those Ne'er-do-wells were selling fake Ascension magic to the followers at First Camp.
And you stopped them.
Anvil thing! Yeah.
Bravo! You've done the Anvil Warband proud. And you've proven you're old enough to handle anything, including the truth about what happened with the dragon. You know that when Kralkator came through, it left everything in its wake branded.
So the warband got trapped in the brand. Why don't we go look for them?
I did go back, and I found them. But they were... I did what I had to do. What I know they would have done for me.
And we really are the last of the Anvil warband. What do we do now?
We honor their memory by making sure the Anvil Warband lives on. You and me.
Excuse me. I have another question for you. Do you know anything about a lost city located somewhere in the Riverlands?
Only lost city I know of is where Vlast was born. The Forgotten City. According to legend, it was reclaimed by the desert.
Any idea where it's supposed to be?
Not specifically, but I ran into a couple of treasure hunters looking for it not too long ago.
Can I help
Excuse
you?
me. I have another question for you. Do you know anything about a lost city located somewhere in the Riverlands?
Lost City? Nothing comes to mind immediately, but I'm hardly an expert. You should ask Nyala. She's in the tent just over there, tending to the children.
Excuse me. I have another question for you. Do you know anything about a lost city located somewhere in the Riverlands?
What about the Forgotten City? The Forgotten were really interesting. They took care of Vlast since he was born.
Sounds like you know a lot about it. Any idea where I can find it?
What about the river folk? Suppose they might know?
Oh, yeah! Go ask the river folk.
You'll find them south of here, settled along the riverbank. They'll know more about the story.
Do you know anything about a lost city located somewhere in the Riverlands?
A lost city? I've heard of one here and there, mostly by way of raving treasure hunters passing through.
Any idea where it's supposed to be?
Not exactly. But supposedly there's a sprawling ruin buried in the desert. Plenty have come looking, but as far as I know, nobody's actually found it.
I appreciate the insight. Be well.
Excuse me. Do you have business with Elder Muriel?
I'm searching the Riverlands for something important. I've been canvassing the area in search of information.
She does love visitors. But you should know something. Muriel's very old, and her answers are not always clear. Please be patient with her. And try to speak up. Her hearing isn't what it used to be.
Ah, and who are you? I don't know your face, but I like it.
Oh, thanks. I'm sorry to disturb you, but I was hoping I could ask you a question. Do you know anything about a lost city located somewhere in the Riverlands?
A city swallowed whole by the desert itself. Kesho, yes.
Kesho? Is that the name of the city?
City? No, a nursery. Where the forgotten toiled. Where Vlast's eyes first opened. Where Glint gave us her legacy.
I need to find Kesho, Elder Muriel. Can you tell me where it is?
A terrible journey across terrible lands. Beyond the sinking dunes.
I see. Thank you. Kesho. Vlast's birthplace. Now I just have to find it. Excuse me. I have another question for you. I'm searching for a lost city called Kesho. What do you know about it?
Kesho. I know I've heard that name somewhere. That's right. I overheard Ardra shouting at someone about Kesho the other day. It's a place? I thought it was a person.
Ardra. Where can I find her?
She's to the west of here, but, just as a forewarning, she's a little prickly when it comes to treasure hunters.
I'm not hunting for treasure. I'm searching for answers.
I'm not sure Ardra will appreciate the distinction, but good luck with your search just the same.
Excuse me. I have another question for you. I'm searching for a lost city called Kesho. What do you know about it?
Kesho. Never heard of it. But Nyala might know something. Worth a shot at least. Good luck.
Excuse me. I have another question for you. I'm searching for a lost city called Kesho. What do you know about it?
Oh, I know. From the song Elder Muriel used to sing to us when she'd visit.
Oh, that's right. I don't recall how it went. Do you?
Something, Kesho, something, sunk into the sea of sand. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. It doesn't rhyme.
It doesn't have to.
But if I remember anything else, I'll let you know.
I appreciate the help. Thank you both.
Yeah! I helped!
Excuse me. I have another question for you. I'm searching for a lost city called Kesho. What do you know about it?
Kesho. Oh, Kesho. Yeah, that's the place.
Go on.
These treasure hunters I ran into not long ago, they were looking for a lost city. I'd forgotten the name until you said it. It was definitely Kesho.
Did they find it? Where were they headed?
Toward the wastes. They needed a way to get past all the quicksand. I suggested they hit up the skimmer camp. No idea what happened to them or if they ever found it. I never saw them again.
I'm searching for a lost city called Kesho. What do you know about it?
Kesho? It's been a while since anybody's asked me about Kesho. How'd you come across that name?
With great difficulty, I promise you. What can you tell me about it?
You're different from the others. Maybe you are after something more than riches and glory. If Kesho truly exists, you'll find it to the northwest of here, where it was claimed by the desert. If you head that way, you'll want to bring your skimmer along. Otherwise, the desert will claim you too.
When we get moving again, how can we avoid the Forged?
We'll have to head east. Hopefully we're far enough north to avoid the awaken.
But at least the Forged left us alive. Are you sure risking a run-in with the Awakened is better?
I honestly don't know. But if nothing else, Augury Rock should offer better cover than open desert. Besides, we'll have to head through Destiny's Gorge anyway to get to Amnoon.
I'm searching for a lost city called Kesho. What do you know about it?
Kesho? Where have I heard that name before?
Whatever happened to that adventurer we ran into last year? Wasn't he looking for some kind of lost city?
Oh, that's right. That was the fellow. He swore up and down he'd found a legendary lost city. And he asked us to join his search for a cut of the treasure.
What happened to him? Where'd he go?
See the fissure to the north? He ventured into the caves beneath it, and that was the last we saw of him.
Did anyone go with him?
With so many branded in the area, we know better than that.
Shame the adventurer didn't.
Forgotten statues. And they seem to be guarding that pit. Could this be the place?
Hello?
Hello? Commander, are you talking to me? Your signal's really strong. How'd you do that?
I jumped into a deep pit.
Good job! Wherever you are must be on a ley line nexus.
Listen, I found something. A lost city called Kesho. It's buried, so I could use your help finding my way around.
Buried city? Really? Oh, crud, I wish I was there. Describe what you see. Everything, in detail.
There's sand drifts and debris everywhere, and pedestals like the ones in Tyria, with exalted sentries floating on them. Here's something that could be a console, but it looks dead.
Huh. Probably needs a power source. Look around for a crystal or anything bright and shiny.
Found a glowing crystal. And a dead body.
Hope the crystal's not what killed the body. Only one way to find out. Pick it up.
I already did.
Great! If you're still alive, try plugging it into the console.
Okay, the power's on.
was that noise?
A door just opened. There's another exalted inside. Not red like the others. Looks dormant, but maybe I can wake it.
Well, carry on then. You know what you're doing.
No! Did Balthazar send you a Joko? I will defend this sacred ground with my life!
Wait, I'm a friend.
We don't like Balthazar either. The commander's on a mission to stop him. Bast is the only clue we've got.
What have you done? The pedestals are reviving the forged!
The glowy red ones are forged? Good thing you didn't poke them.
You claim to owe Balthazar no allegiance. Prove yourself. Destroy his creations.
Balthazar's the reason I'm here. He's working to kill Kralkatorrik, and we're trying to stop him.
I wish you'd come sooner. Balthazar was here recently with that wretched lich Joko.
Apparently I'm the chosen champion and protector of Glint's second scion, Maureen.
If you've been entrusted with the role of the Scion's protector, then it would be my honor to assist you. I am Sadazi. Welcome to Kesho. What you see is what's left of the Forgotten's first attempt to pacify the Elder Dragons. It failed. This site was abandoned, but a few of us remained as its caretakers.
Why were Balthazar and Joko here?
They came seeking the forgotten magics that imbue battle armor with living spirits, the same that created the Exalted. They quickly discovered they could use those magics to create these abominations. The horrors they call Forged. The Red Exalted you fought were the results of their early experiments on us, left behind as mindless sentries. In the chaos, I sealed myself in that chamber to avoid the fate of the others.
That was smart. Now you can help us make sure Balthazar doesn't succeed.
Balthazar thought he destroyed the information you seek, but the sentries he left behind were actually protecting it.
What do you mean?
The pedestals!
Your invisible friend is correct. I can reveal the secrets contained in any pedestal you choose.
Glint was the key. She was perfect for our purposes. A scion of an elder dragon, and a crystal dragon herself, with a mind of her own. We did our work well. Glint actively rejected Kralkatorrik, and she brought forth more scions to join our cause.
That was Jasso Escher, one of the Legacy's main architects. Sadly, he was lost in the attempt to convert Kralkatorrik.
Wait. Convert Kralkatorrik?
Yes. The Forgotten dared to try. But the hunger of Elder Dragons is too strong. It proved a tragic failure. More of your questions can be answered by consulting the other pedestals.
The most important lesson an Exalted must learn is Though elder dragons are unimaginably powerful, they can be killed. Each has a distinct flaw. Mordramoth, for example, dominates thought, but its most powerful asset, its mind, is also its greatest liability. Kralkatorik's unique strength, its power to crystallize objects, is also its singular weakness. Its creations share a fundamental resonance that connects them back to the crystal dragon and makes them vulnerable to each other.
A fundamental resonance that makes them vulnerable. Whoa, so that's why Balthazar was after Vlast. He needed a scion of Glint to kill Kralkatorik. But Vlast's gone now, so that means... Wait, there's one thing I don't understand. If Glint and the Forgotten knew what killing an Elder Dragon would do to Tyria, why would they rear Vlast and Aurene?
The answer is locked behind that door. If you're done with the pedestals, we can proceed.
Kesho is supposed to be my home, but it's more of a cage or a tomb. I prefer the open sky. I feel trapped here. This place reminds me that I cannot act, no matter how eager I am. Not until the full legacy is ready.
That's Vlast.
We encouraged him to record his thoughts for reference and posterity. He didn't contribute often, and was never glad to do it.
I believe it. He sounds super frustrated and restless. Like a genius progeny suffering through Intro to Golomancy.
I can't stand it any longer. The constant talk of duty and destiny, the Force reverence. It disgusts me. It enrages me. My exalted attendants are durable, but still mortal, insignificant. They quake with fear at the slightest angry hiss. I have a job to do, and the power to do it. They can't help me. Why do they pretend they can?
Sadly, Vlast matured in isolation. We didn't know how to socialize him properly until it was too late. By the time we realized Vlast needed to bond with mortal races as Glint had, he no longer could, nor cared to.
Salizi and the others tell me I must wait. That before the real work begins, the whole legacy must ripen and mature. I am ready now. Kralkatorik continues to grow in power, and my mother's death stands unavenged. I am my mother's son. I will wait. I will serve the glorious purpose she and the Forgotten set for me. Though the snakes and their golden servants speak as though it is their purpose, and Glint merely lent it her name. So in her name, I will act. Until the full legacy is ready, I will contain Kralkatorik and cull its branded horde. intruder!
Curious. The door isn't responding. It must have been damaged during Joko and Balthazar's attack.
You're in luck because the commander is good at smashing things.
What's this?
Please, step inside. The millennia-long Elder Dragon cycle is one of feast and famine. Ravenous they rise, sated they sleep. Glint and the Forgotten set out to break this cycle of extremes and to restore true balance. But when two Elder Dragons were unexpectedly eliminated from the cycle at one time, we believe it created a void. A void that caused the system to break down and the collapse to begin. The hope was that Glint's legacy would stabilize the cycle. We theorize these vacancies must be filled with entities that circulate and share magic rather than hoard it. Only then will the balance of magic truly become stable. Only then will Glint's legacy achieve its ultimate purpose.
The Scions of Glint are more important than we thought. Balthazar only sees them as a means to gaining power. But they could be instrumental in restoring the natural balance.
If you are, in fact, the true protector of Glint's legacy, then it's up to you to stop Balthazar from taking her. But know that he will let nothing deter him from his goal of killing the Crystal Dragon.
Timey, get a message to Ritlock, Kinnock, and Casimir. There's a spire south of the skimmer camp, tall enough for Keel's airship to moor. Tell them to meet me there.
Commander, you must leave, now. I can feel the Forged approaching. If you are able to find Kesho, then I failed to adequately conceal the entrance. I must close the entrance forever. This portal will allow you to return safely to the surface.
But what about you?
I will keep my pledge to protect this sacred place with my life. I am at peace. Farewell, Commander.
Balthazar!
Expecting someone else? What's this? Have your friends abandoned? What do you say we take things a little more slowly this time? Never defy a god! Suffer a little more loudly. Cry out, let everyone hear. Excellent. We're not finished yet. I do enjoy these little get-togethers. You're proving to be quite useful.
Listen, I don't want to kill you.
You won't. How sad for you to die so far from home. Ah, the sire. Come here to defend her champion.
Maureen! No!
And now, you die.
Where am I? Who am I? I need to be somewhere else.
My life is over. How does freeing you help me?
I can give you a new life. And you there! Come here! Over here! We can help each other. What is your name?
I don't even know who I am. Or where I am. Or how I got here.
You died. It happens. Welcome to the domain of the lost. I am, of course, King Palawa Joko.
King Joko? I'm sorry. I don't know that name.
Liar! All who take breath know me. I am King Joko the Inevitable, the last primeval king. Joko the Undying, the scourge of Vabi. Joko the feared, Joko the beloved, Joko the eternal monarch of all. How dare you claim to not know who I am?
But you're not a spirit. What are you doing here?
I was deceived by the fallen god Balthazar. I led him here to claim spirits for his army. In exchange, I was promised a share of his new recruits, but he betrayed me and stranded me here instead. Perfidy. From now on, the only god I trust is me.
You are no god. You are an abomination inflicted on the Crystal Desert like a wound, like a plague.
I am a god. God King of Eluna, the Crystal Desert and all their environs. Genuflect, peasant.
You have no authority here. Only the judge does. He was appointed by Grenth, a true god.
Gods, dragons, nations.
Soon all will grovel at the feet of Paloa Johto.
Come, gentle spirit. You must take the next steps, and I've heard enough of Joko's blasphemies.
Who is the judge?
He is a loyal servant of Gwent, charged with sending all the spirits who come through here to their appointed place.
But I don't know who I am. I don't know where I should be.
Come, spirit. Do not be afraid.
I'm not sure why I'm here, or even who I am.
That's because most spirits find their own way to their fate when they die. But those whose deaths are too traumatic often forget who they were, or how they perished.
These spirits, like you and me, end up here, in the domain of the lost.
But I can't be here.
You will reach your rightful place in time. First, you must recover your name, to know who you were and how you lived. Then, you must learn your purpose, to understand the choices you made, and why you lived as you did. Once you know your name and purpose, only then can I determine your final destination.
But how do I do that?
Nena has traveled the path you now face. She can assist you. For though they may have belonged to you in life, once your name and purpose enter this domain, they are yours no longer. And you will have to fight to reclaim your name. Now, arm yourself.
Nina. So you discovered your name. How do I reclaim mine?
I learned my name from the spirit of my old mentor, but only after besting him in a challenge of riddles. I discovered my purpose hidden in an old diary I had written as a child. Look around the area, and perhaps you will find something useful.
No. I can't fight with any of this. No. I can't fight with any of this.
Oh,
There's
this looks
nothing
promising.
usable here.
Drat, not malleable enough.
No. I can't fight with any of this.
I'll never find my purpose in this trash heap.
I should be able to fight with this. That spirit looks just like me.
We should follow. Hurry! That spirit may be the one who claimed your name.
I still don't remember.
Then more than one must have claimed your name, which means it must be a prestigious one. Quick, find another shadow. Still nothing. Keep looking. If you don't reclaim your name quickly, you could lose it forever. Remember now. My life was filled with conflict, victory, and loss. I was a leader, a commander. I could tell. You wielded that weapon like a true fighter. But I don't know why I fought. What I strove for. Or against. Next is your purpose. What drove you forward and ultimately led to your death? The answer is here, somewhere in the domain of the lost. You just have to find it. But how will I know it? Where will I find it? If you truly desire it, your purpose will find you. I'd start with the bird.
We will defend the dream. Be gone, monster!
Valiant, the pale tree summons you.
When Zaitan rose from slumber, the dragon found a long-dead nation and claimed it.
The soul of Tyria mourned as her children were cut down by the beast. The land wept.
Nobody believed I had courage. Not even me. And then you came along. You trusted me then, my friend. I need you to trust me now. I can do this.
Our victory at Fort Trinity will show the world that we can strike against the dragons.
Intruders, you trespass on the dragon's land. You also.
We can assault Ara. We can destroy Zaitan before the dragon's infection claims us all.
Driven him out of the sky!
We have succeeded, but only by coming together to fight a greater foe. You have shown the way.
Tonight, I saw it. I stared into the abyss, and it stared back at me. So much power. I don't know what's real and what isn't anymore.
The city. It's gone. All gone.
And here, at the center, little old me. Aren't you even curious about why I did it? All this chaos and destruction?
Listen! Her shield drops when she attacks. Make it count. End this. Now!
You fools! You think my death saves you? Too late.
This world is mine.
I have something I can no longer protect. You must understand its importance to Tyria's future.
You're not leaving until you tell me the truth.
With everything we had to deal with here, the Pact fleet may have already launched.
We're a welcome sight, Commander. The situation's grim. Mordemoth tore the fleet apart.
The enemy, Mordemoth! You hear its voice too, but you resist. So does Canuck. And so
Mother, look out!
This offspring has chosen you. Channel this gift to get the egg to safety. Go. Confront Mordremoth.
You must kill me, Commander, before that seed grows. Before Mordremoth reclaims what it has lost.
What have you done? Dragon's Watch. I like that. So only you get to decide when we take down a dragon? Only you are allowed to kill them?
What I lay down my life for. What should we call
I'm
it?
glad you didn't join Destiny's Hill.
Her name is Aureen.
I am the last Mersat. Many years ago, you knew me as Lazarus the Dire. I have returned from the brink
But who
of
would
existence.
pose as Lazarus?
No! It can't be!
The dragons will die, and fire will unchain all.
I remember. Balthazar. He wants revenge on the other gods. And he's going to use Aureen to get it. I have to convince the judge to send me back.
Renth welcomes all, noble spirit. Step forward, and I will send you to your appointed place.
You must let me go back.
I see you clearly now, Commander. Balthazar killed you, but you would face him again? Balthazar has done great harm here. The magic he uses to hijack spirits shakes the foundations of the domain of the lost. But I cannot help you.
If I could only get back. If I could defeat him, it might undo the damage he's done in both our worlds.
It is too late. No life remains in your body. Unless, when Balthazar left, a fearsome beast, the Eater of Souls, rose to prey on the waning life energy of the spirits here.
That's got to be the screams I've heard in the distance.
If you were to defeat the beast and claim its power, that life energy might be strong enough to reanimate your body, allowing you to go back. But if you were to fail, the beast would consume your entirety. I could grant you no final reward or punishment. Your spirit would simply cease to be.
I'll take that risk. Now that I've rediscovered my purpose, I have to go back to finish what I started.
Then in Grenth's name, conquer the Eater of Souls and live again. Remind Balthazar that none escape judgment.
bear no grudges, harbor no ill will. Release me now, and I will still honor the deal you foolishly rejected.
Your help is worthless. I found my own way back, and I'm off to succeed where you failed. By defeating Balthazar.
Good for you. Such pluck and self-delusion. Off you go, then. Of course, you are forgetting one crucial detail. Balthazar has an army. Do you have an army, little one? Well, I do. An army to rival that of the disgraced god. We both know you don't stand a chance without my awakened soldiers.
You may be right about that. I do need your army, but I don't need you.
What? No. My awakened are loyal to me. They'll never obey anyone but their beloved God King.
Really? Because in your absence, your army obeys the Mordant Crescent. I've seen it, and I can use it.
I warn you, do not leave me here. By royal decree, I forbid it.
Sorry, Your Majesty, but from what I've seen, your kingdom is better off without you.
Come back here, pathetic mortal. This is your last chance. I will return to reclaim my throne. And I will have my revenge on those who put me here, who left me here, and who dare take advantage of my absence. Torture. Oh, yes, I have plotted it out. I will just laugh as their wretched pleas for a longer life turn to desperate cries for a faster death.
Get back.
Commander!
Is that?
Wait, what's going on there? You all said the commander was dead.
I was dead, Timey. But now I'm back.
Yeah, but that's not how dead works.
She makes a good point. We all checked, Commander, and you were very much no longer with us.
And he's still not. This is a trick.
Kaz, is this one of yours?
It's not an illusion.
Not me. I'm alive. I'm still the commander.
Poke him! If he's squishy, he's a mummy. If he's leathery, he's awakened. And if he's nothing, he's a ghost.
We're not going to poke the commander, Timey.
Listen! Balthazar has Aurene.
We know. He was taking her south toward Kralkatork when we arrived. We tried to stop him, but there were too many forged.
And I hate being the bearer of bad news, but it appears that Balthazar has managed to build up quite a formidable army of forged.
He does seem to make them faster than we can break them.
That's why we need an army of our own. And I met someone in the domain of the lost who told me where I can borrow one.
Borrow an army.
Domain of the lost?
Yay! We have a plan!
Kaz, have you got anything that can change our appearances?
Yes, but nothing that can make the four of us look like an army.
It doesn't have to. It just needs to disguise us as someone else. After I secure our cover story.
Okay. I'll be standing by.
And I'll be at the casino in Amnoon. If you can come back from the dead, I want to double my wager on you.
Fine. I'll get word to you all when the time is right.
Oh, hey, Commander. Good to have you back.